What's up, Impact Nation? Welcome to a quick, uh, kind of a. It's not a weekly show, so it's just kind of like a bonus episode. Um, Obviously, like as you saw, there's no editing, there's no beginning anymore. I mean, there will be on other, but like tomorrow's video, whenever I review tonight's episode of Impact, a lot of it. I just want to get on here real quick, and like I tweeted out last night, get on and talk a little bit about that Ultimate Deletion segment from the WWE. Now, before I get into it, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there so everybody watching just knows. Look, if you don't agree with me, if you think I'm coming down hard on it, one, it's probably your own perspective because you know I'm an Impact fan. So if you're watching this because, you know, you want to see what an Impact fan thought about it and you're just waiting for me to be negative about it, then you're probably going to take even things that I'm not really trying to be very critical of, you're going to take it as totally negative and I'm bashing it, and I'm just a mad Impact fan. No, that's not true, because I'm a WWE fan as well. The product hasn't been as good here as of late, which has been really odd. There's been certain things that have been kind of good. Love the fact that Daniel Bryan is back. And, some other things, but but let's just talk about right here with this thing. The Woken Matt Hardy thing, I still feel like they just haven't gotten it quite right. Before, they weren't doing it well at all. And I had talking about that before in a previous video about just the overall character of the Woken Matt Hardy thing. You know, they just haven't captured the essence of what Broken was because of the fact that the way the WWE likes to produce their shows. It has nothing to do with Matt not being as good or whatever else. Just the way that they produce their shows. It hasn't allowed Matt to do what Impact allowed him to do. But with this segment specifically, first let's just talk about leading into the segment, into the match. I tweeted this out. We're 30 minutes in, and no mention of Ultimate Deletion. No mention that it was going to be the main event. We were an hour in. No mention of the Ultimate Deletion. No mention of the fact that it was going to be main event. No little clips that we eventually did get to. But like, whenever Impact did it, the very first final deletion, the whole episode was basically dedicated to that. But then they would show stuff that was happening inside Impact Zone, obviously, in between certain segments. So it would start off, I think it was they had the debut of Senor Benjamin, and he basically said, if viewer discretion is advised, please do, these are trained stuntmen, please do not, do what you're about to see. Don't repeat what you're about to see. Then they went to the normal opening and all this stuff. I think they show like a match, and then they would go back to the Hardy compound, and they would show Jeff like riding on a dirt bike going up to Matt's house. And then you got another, but you did introductory things. The shows leading up to it, they would have introductions. They would explain why Matt was now broken, what that actually meant, how everybody else around him was dealing with this, what effects it had on the rest of his family, all this different stuff. Then you got to the final deletion. That's been missing in the Woken gimmick period, just the overall storytelling of it. As it's just been Bray and him laughing at each other for a while. And then on top of that, whenever you do have Michael Cole, like Corey's kind of trying to sell it. Michael Cole's just making it seem like it's the most ridiculous, dumbest thing he's ever seen in his life. Whenever you have like the main commentator talking crap on it in a way, it doesn't come off as good. Especially like he was like right before the segment, he was like, okay, what you guys are about to see is really silly and kind of dumb or whatever he said. I can't remember exact word for word, but basically he was kind of like, this is kind of stupid. Oh, don't try it at home or whatever he said. And then it went to the thing. But yeah, so there was no, then you finally did, but it was just like him. He called his, you knew that he called his boat Skarsgård, and that he went and rode the boat on the Lake of Reincarnation. He did have a segment with the whole family. inside, so it kind of did a little bit there where he's, then he said, Senor Benjamin, please, prepare the battlefield for annihilation. And he's finally starting to talk like that, which we saw later on in the segment where he's calling it the chair of wheels or the mower of lawns, which was good. Because that's another thing. Like, he kind of has that same accent, but he hasn't really talked in the same, like, almost Yoda-like manner. So it was good to see that started to come out. But, and then outside of that, again, so, you didn't get a whole lot of that stuff. After, like, an hour, and a few minutes, you finally got, they would say tonight. Then they said main event. And personally, just from everything that's been happening with that segment and how they promoted it and everything, I have a feeling, I think the WWE was just like, okay, Matt, you can have fun because we don't really have a whole lot for you. So, yeah, you can try it again. Here's this. We got Jeremy Borash now. You can go ahead and do this. I don't think, like, Vince wants to do it. Or maybe, I don't know if Hunter does or Hunter doesn't. I don't know. But, like, again, that first hour's where their highest viewership is. They really wanted people to tune in for that. They would have they would have front-loaded letting people know Ultimate Deletion was happening and when it was happening. Because any other Monday night or even Tuesday night, that's what they do. They up front load that first first hour, letting you know this is still coming tonight. This is still coming tonight. This is happening tonight. This is your main event. And all that stuff. They weren't doing it for that. For a second there, I thought the John Cena segment with Undertaker was going to be the main event. Then it kept, running later and later. I'm like, oh my God, how much time? Which, they ran over quite a bit. And they did give it plenty of time. But it got cut from the Hulu version of Raw. The people in the arena didn't see it. They got Ronda Rousey coming out, and I think another match between, Braun and Elias, I think I read. But they got another match, and then they got a Ronda Rousey appearance. So the people in the building didn't even get to watch it. And then, like I said, it was cut from the Hulu edition, or version, whatever you want to call it. So that could go into play too. So I don't know. I just feel like if they wanted this to be a successful big thing like Impact did, they wouldn't have cut it from Hulu, and they would have shown it in the arena, and they would have advertised it better. That's just what I think. I could be totally wrong, but that's just what I think. Now let's get to the actual segment, because I don't want this video to go too long. I just want to give some thoughts out, because I want people to see this video that are maybe WWE fans and want to get an Impact Wrestling's perspective on it. And I also want to see Impact fans maybe hear a good, honest review of what this was. Because I have watched some other WWE YouTubers talk about it. Some people are kind of, that's just not their thing. Other people talk about how it was even better than an Impact. That's a lie. I'm sorry. I didn't hate this. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. But if you watch the final deletion on Impact and the Delete Decay and the Great War, all those different versions and different matches from that gimmick, from that story, there's no way you could say this was better. Because you could say, well, some of the production was better. Sure, obviously. But that's kind of what made the other final deletions kind of had like this little special quality to it, because it wasn't like super amazing production. There was like a little quirkiness to it. But besides that, if you've seen it before, you just re-saw it. That was my biggest problem with this, was almost beat by beat, it was final deletion. I can't really say whenever he says Bray Wyatt knew you'd come, because that's what he does. That's what Matt does for everybody. But it was, the guy shows up, the Vanguard 1 projects Matt's face, and he says some things, listen to the music, so then he follows the music. Instead of a violin that Matt was playing, which I thought was funnier, Remy was playing the piano, and so then he went in, he would follow the piano playing. got to the ring, did that stuff. They kind of start to do a couple wrestling moves here or there. Um, Again, on the Impact one, there was more of a match, if you could call it that, that happened in ring that was different. This one wasn't quite as much. And then all of a sudden, he yelled out to Vanguard One to ignite whatever he said, and then fireworks by the ring just went off. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, we want to have fireworks, but, and rightfully so, Impact WWE, who has a lot of money riding on a lot of this stuff, don't want their wrestlers shooting fireworks at each other. I totally get that, but then just cut out the fireworks. You don't have to, because then that's just playing up like, hey, people love the fireworks in the first one. We'll do it again, just we can't shoot it at each other, but we should still have it in there. And whenever like those things would happen, that's whenever like I would go, okay, yep, okay, well, yeah, they're trying to just recopy it a little bit. If I had never seen this stuff from Impact, this would have been a great, funny segment to me. I know it would have been. Because it was done well, it was funny. Matt had a lot of cool things. They did tell a decent story throughout the segment. But just knowing what I've already seen, and I've seen a different version with the more of a story going into the match, so I was more invested in that final deletion than I was going into this ultimate deletion. It was hard to not go. They're trying to copy like the things that people loved out of the final deletion and putting it in here and giving it the WWE look. Let's see here. From there, I think they went basically straight to the, I guess he restructured Bray's old, like, barn house thing. Because then, he was like, Bray, does this look familiar? And that part was pretty cool, too. The only thing, again, where the WWE almost overproduces a segment, and this was one of them. They try too hard to make a movie. And what I mean by that is, say you're watching a TV show or a movie, and they want to show you, the viewer, what's going on in their mind. So, like, we'll see a flashback, and what everything else. And we're supposed to, the way that they film it, we're supposed to comprehend that what we're seeing right now on screen is what's going on in his mind, what he is seeing in his mind as he's trying to remember and think about something. Well, they do the same thing, because then they show Bray kind of all of a sudden shocked, but then they do like these, and it was done very well, but they show these flashbacks of him, rocking in the chair, Randy Orton burning it down, all this different stuff, which is cool. And I know this is weird to say whenever this is so, bonkers anyway, but like, this is still wrestling, and we're supposed to be getting worked that it's real. You know what I'm saying? And so, if it's real, we can't see what's going on in his head. So we shouldn't be able to see flashbacks and memories. We should just see him react, and then that's it. And sometimes whenever WWE does that stuff, they've done it in other productions too. Other stories, other segments. It takes me out of it a little bit. Again, production is top notch, but it's just odd. And then then the only other part that I didn't kind of like was whenever they basically did like a Benny Hill gimmick, where it was kind of funny, but that's kind of going too far with the like corniness of it. Where they had all the different, like, Jeff Hardy's Enigma signals that they always would wear, and different, don't really know what they were called, but they had a big bunch of like wooden cutouts set up in this like area of the yard, and Bray's like, "Where are you, Matt?" And Matt would like, and they would like speed it up, so it's like, I mean, it looked like an old like Benny Hill, like, like a Scooby-Doo segment where there's like a hallway with like 50 doors, and like Scooby-Doo in the game would come out this door, and then the villain would come out this, and then they would come out this one, and then he would come out this one back here. That's how it was, except they would pause and Matt would go, "I'm over here, Bray. I'm over here, Bray." It was funny, but a little too corny for me. And then it got really good. They started fighting by the Lake of Reincarnation, and we saw some more of those type of things where Vanguard 1 came down and was trying to look like he was gonna attack Bray, but Bray grabbed it and then let him go again. Turned around. Can't remember exact segments, but Jeff Hardy would stepped in, made a little cameo, said something to Bray. All of a sudden he was, I think that's what it was. It was he was hidden. Matt was all of a sudden disappeared, but he thought he was underneath the boat, the dilapidated boat, Skarsgård. So he flipped over the boat, and it was Senor Benjamin. Gave him the taser. Bray, then all of a sudden Matt Hardy just shows back up out of nowhere, gives Bray twist of fate. 1, 2, 3. Like, out of all these different things, like at one point, I think Bray was whipping the crap out of Matt with a chair. All these other things going back through. The Dome of Deletion. I forgot about that segment. That's where he started going back and forth between, the mower of lawns or the chair wheel. That segment was really good. That was funny. That was definitely very a broken thing, and that was cool too. But again, one thing, and a lot of Impact fans will know what I'm talking about here. The one thing that I think all of us are actually kind of happy that the broken gimmick is gone from Impact is this. After all this craziness, obviously, Broken Matt's going to win, and it's only going to take one twist of fate, no matter no matter how, dominating that other person was during a match. It just takes the one twist of fate. Boom, 1, 2, 3, Broken Matt won, and then he tossed Bray into the Lake of Reincarnation, but he never came back out, and he asked Senor Benjamin to fish him out. He said he's not here anymore, and then he goes, "Wonderful," which is cool because that's a good kind of cliffhanger for me. It would have been cool to put the Lake of Reincarnation into work and be able to see him come back out as like Husky Harris or a darker, deep, something crazier Bray or something, but left intrigue. That Bray hopefully is getting repackaged. I know that's kind of been the rumor. I just hope he doesn't go more supernatural. I really miss just the cult leader, Bray Wyatt. That was good. That's the Bray that I think everybody fell in love with. The supernatural Bray is somebody that like people still find somewhat intriguing, but are kind of getting tired of. So if they're using this to repackage Bray, I think it's a good idea. Leaves intrigue. So that's one cool thing that I did like about it. So yeah, that's my Woken review. Let me know if you guys watched it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter at Anthem of Impact. We got a great episode of Impact Wrestling coming on tonight. We get to know the fate of the 4 men that got the briefcases at Feast of Fire. What else do we get tonight? Oh, the Monsters Ball match. Sienna versus Allie. I mean, we're gonna have a pretty good night of Impact Wrestling. So I hope everybody sits down and enjoys a great night of wrestling. Again, it wasn't the worst thing. I definitely thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it was. So, I got to give WWE credit for that. Hopefully Jeremy Borash had something to do with that. And not just like they're just trying to copy what JB and Matt and all those guys did in Impact. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll see what they keep doing with Matt. What happens with Jeff whenever he does come back. Because I think Vince likes Jeff a little too much. I think to throw him into the Brother Nero gimmick and not have a singles run out of Jeff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. So anyway, like again, if you guys like this video, go hit this subscribe button and check out some of my other videos. If you guys are a WWE fan, you just happen to find this video, I do just mainly do Impact Wrestling, but hey, give Impact a shot. The new stuff now under Don Callis and Scott D'Amore, it's so much better. Like it really, these last several weeks, this last like month or whatever it's been, have been really good. Great storytelling, a lot of good wrestling. You know, WrestleMania weekend, it's gonna be Lucha Underground versus Impact Wrestling. You got matches like, excuse me, Jeremiah Crane versus Eddie Edwards in an I Quit match. We've got Killshot and the Mac versus LAX for the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Championships. You got a six-man dance of DJZ, Desmond Xavier, and Andrew Everett versus Aerostar. Oh my God, why can't I remember who the other two are now? I think it's Aerostar, Drago. Oh my gosh, I think it's the trios or the old trios champs, but not Phoenix because Phoenix isn't in that. Anyway, the main event right now is Alberto El Patron teaming with Pentagon Dark versus Phoenix and Austin Aries. I mean, and they're not even done setting this up. It's going to be an awesome thing, and it's available on Twitch to watch for free. Just, I'm saying, Impact is doing some really good things. So if you guys haven't been watching Impact, you guys want something to watch on a Thursday night, give Impact a shot. They're on Pop TV. They got the Global Wrestling Network. Stuff get puts up on Twitch, the Fight Network. I mean, you can find Impact Wrestling just about anywhere. Obviously, YouTube, they put up a lot of stuff on their YouTube channel. So check it out if any way you guys can. Anyway, like I said, I didn't want this video to go long. It kind of has. So, until tomorrow, Impact Nation. Peace.